All right, let's talk about money. Specifically, all those unspoken rules that seem to control our financial lives, The stuff that affects all of us, but somehow never gets explained in a way that, well, actually makes sense. So, we're gonna fix that today. Let's dive in. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You get that notification, you've been paid. You see that nice big number, maybe 2,000 bucks, and you think, awesome. But then you actually look at your bank account and it's way less. It's that moment of pure confusion, right? Just a total what the heck feeling.
So, where did the rest of it go? I mean, that's a lot of money. It feels like it just poof, vanished, sucked away by some kind of invisible financial vacuum cleaner. Well, guess what? Today, we're going to unmask those invisible forces. First things first, to really get a handle on your own money, you have to understand the rules of the game. And I mean the big picture rules. These are the systems that are running in the background, shaping our entire financial reality, whether we're paying attention or not. And culprit number one, you guessed it, taxes. You'll hear people call it the price you pay for a civilized society. And yeah, that's true. This is the cash that pays for the roads, the schools, and, well, all the other stuff the government does. It's kind of like the mandatory subscription fee for living here. But that chunk of money labeled taxes isn't just one thing. No, it's actually a few different things all bundled together. You've got your federal and state income tax, for sure. But then there's Social Security and Medicare. The easy way to think about it is this. Social Security is basically a retirement plan the government forces you to pay into, and Medicare is a health insurance program mostly for older folks.
All right, the next invisible force is a sneaky one. It's called inflation. This is the silent thief that makes your money worth less over time. I mean, think about it. A $5 bill is still a $5 bill, right? But the number of instant noodles, or anything really, that it can buy slowly goes down. It's this quiet, constant erosion of your buying power. And then, every once in a while, the whole economy just hits a wall. That's what a recession is. It's like the music stops, the lights come on, and the party is definitely over. Suddenly, jobs get harder to find, people stop spending as much, and everything just kind of slows down. It's painful, for sure, but it's a natural, if unwelcome, part of the economic cycle.
Okay, so we've got the rules of the game down. Now let's talk about one of the biggest players on the field, the banks. We all use them, but what actually happens to our money the second we deposit it? For most of us, it's a total black box. So, you probably have this image in your head of your money sitting in some giant steel vault, right? Like Scrooge McDuck's money bin. But that's not how it works, at all. In reality, a bank is more like a matchmaker. Its whole job is to connect people who have money with people who need to borrow money. And this is the mind-blowing part. It's a system called fractional reserve banking. Here's how it goes. You deposit, say, $1,000. The bank is required to keep a small fraction of that, just a little bit. And the rest, it's immediately loaned out to someone else. Yeah, your money isn't just sitting there. It's already out in the world, making money for the bank. So you might be thinking, wait, if my money isn't even there, why bother with a bank? Well, there are a few really good reasons. First, convenience. It's just easier to swipe a card than carry around wads of cash. Second, it's safe. In the US, your money is insured up to 250 grand, which is way safer than stuffing it under your mattress. And finally, they pay you a tiny bit of interest, kind of like a thank you for letting them use your money to make more money. Okay, so that's the big picture, the giant systems we all live in. Now let's zoom in. Let's talk about your personal scoreboard. These are the numbers that you personally can actually control and use to your advantage. Let's start with interest. And man, this is a two-sided coin if there ever was one. On one side, when you're in debt, interest is your absolute worst enemy. It's a fire that just keeps growing. But flip that coin over. When you're investing, interest is your best employee. It never sleeps, never complains, and just works around the clock to make you more money. The whole secret is to get it working for you instead of against you. And this leads to the real magic trick, compound interest. This is the good stuff. It's when the interest you've earned starts earning its own interest. It's like a real-life money cheat code. It's how your money starts to duplicate itself, creating this incredible snowball effect. This, right here, is the engine that builds real wealth. Okay, next up on your scoreboard, your credit score. Let's get one thing straight right away. This number has nothing to do with how much money you have. Zero. It's all about one thing, how much they can trust you to pay back what you borrow. It's a financial trust score. And I love this analogy. It really is like a pet. You have to take care of it because if you just ignore it, it's going to make a huge mess of your life. Guaranteed. So, how do they even come up with this number? It's a cocktail of a few different things. How much credit you're using, how old your accounts are, but just look at this breakdown. See that massive piece of the pie? Payment history. That's the big one. It's not complicated. If you just pay your bills on time, every single time, you're already winning more than half the battle. Okay, we know the rules, we know the players, we know our personal scoreboard. So the big question is, how do we actually win this game? How do we make the system work for us instead of against us? Well, it all comes down to understanding and using the assets you already have. And here's the number one weapon you have against that silent thief, inflation. It's investing. This is a total mindset shift. It's about getting out of the trap of just trading your time for money. Instead, you start trading your money for more money. You put your dollars to work so they can have little baby dollars for you. And please, don't ever think that small amounts don't matter. They do, because time is your secret weapon here. Look, after 5 years of investing a little bit, maybe you can afford a nice dinner. Cool. But look at 15 years. Now we're talking about a car. Then look at 30 years. That's retirement. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Real wealth is a get-rich-slow process, built over decades. Now let's get a little philosophical for a second and talk about value. Why is a Gucci handbag 1,000 times more expensive than a Target one when they're both made of, fabric and a zipper? The answer is perception. It's worth more because enough people believe it's worth more. That's it. And understanding this is so important because the same principle applies to you, to your skills, to your career, to your personal brand. Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the most valuable asset you will ever own. And it's not your money or your house or your car, it's your time. It's the only asset that's distributed perfectly equally. We all get 24 hours in a day. But it's also the only one you can't buy more of. Once it's gone forever. So I want to leave you with this thought. Think of your hours like a currency. Every single one of them. You can either spend them or you can invest them. So the real question is, how are you going to train your hours and your money to start working for you, to build a life you actually want?